And then if she's on here, I know she said she was kind of in charge for tonight, but we might have to tag team a little bit here for some of the stuff. But so basically, welcome everybody.
Sounds good.
South Central meeting here. I'll give a brief overview of my president's report. I did send out in an email a couple weeks ago before all the regional meetings links to the agenda and the reports. So hopefully you guys all have that and you can kind of just glance through them. And then as we go through the items on the agenda, if you have questions about anything, we'll try to just highlight so we can keep things moving and get everyone out of here as quick as possible and save you guys some time. So in my report, I listed kind of what I did for each of the months since we had our summer conference. So in July, I participated in Region 6 conference. In August, a little bit of a couple different meetings there. Met with the FFA board as a representative for PAAE. Met with Nick and Darla to get Nick all set up as our new executive secretary. And then Darla and I also met with Scott Shealy and talked about PAAE's involvement with the Ag Ed Commission. And that's kind of how we got the second State of Ag Ed webinar that then we had on October 1st. We kind of felt that was a good way to share some of the things that not only the commission have been doing, but then everybody else since we have been, virtual. And then in September, I did send everybody a letter on behalf of PAAE, went out to all ag teachers, not just PAAE. One, to promote the State of Ag Ed webinar, but then also to kind of just make sure everyone knows about membership since we didn't have our typical summer conference where some people pay for their membership. We did include the form with that. So hopefully everyone in the region got that. If not, please let me know so that we can kind of update your contact information and make sure you get any correspondence in the future. Went to the Foundation's golf outing. We had our board meeting and Nick will probably talk about this as well because he has it linked down in his section of the report. But one thing we did at our September board meeting, it says the executive committee resolution authorizing response to COVID-19 emergency. I reached out to Dr. Foster and kind of asked for some guidance, like how are we to handle business properly when we're doing virtual meetings and whatnot, especially since we had to do like president-elect voting. So we wanted to make sure we were kind of doing things properly. So he shared with me something they did for Iowa State. And so we basically just did kind of the same thing for Pennsylvania and voted on that. And that gives us the authority to basically amend the bylaws for virtual meetings and business transactions. So a copy of that Nick has linked, like I said, down in his section of the report. So if you want to take a look at that, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask. We did do the president-elect position. So we have David Steinfeld now as our president-elect for the organization, participated in the Ag Ed Commission. They actually had a nice teacher panel with members from each region. So Sharisa was on that with me for the South Central region, kind of shared what each school's doing in our reopening of school here for the fall, which looked very different region by region, obviously. And then we also, Darla and I met with Carly Wright and kind of just put together a timeline for the Policy and Bylaws Committee so that hopefully we can get a finalized revised copy, since it hasn't been revised since 2011, at this coming summer conference in 2021. So that's the goal. So hopefully by spring meetings, we'll have something for members to review and kind of maybe make some final revisions to, and then at the summer conference, hopefully have something finalized and ready to be passed. And then that's pretty much it. Anybody have any questions about the things that I have been doing over the last couple months? Okay, then that's it for me. I believe.
Yep, I can pick it up from here. Oops, I have too many things going on at the same time. Is Dave on here?
I didn't.
Is Dave here? No. Okay. Diana, do you have a report for us? That may not even be on the agenda because I lost it.
Well, Darla would probably be up next.
That would make sense, darling. That's what I meant.
Diana can
That's-
totally give my
that's what I
report.
said.
That would be fine.
Okay.
Thanks, Krista. So since the last time we all spoke in July, I just want to really kind of slow down. I'm speed talking a lot in the past 15 minutes, but a lot of what I've been working on the past year and like what I've been focusing on is getting us squared away with our tax information. So when we last talked, I think the last thing you would have known is that we put in an abatement letter for 2 of the tax years. And in August, we got a letter back from that and said, congratulations, you don't have to pay the full failure to file penalty, which was awesome news. So we are squared away for fiscal years 2016 and 2018. Instead of paying $1,000 for 1 year, we only paid $250. And instead of paying $690 for the other year, we only paid $89. So we owe major kudos and thanks to our friends at Boyer and Ritter for helping us through this. So 2 years are completely taken care of and paid off, right, Brian, after we have to fix things with the IRS, but it's taken care of. So Brian made the payment and they applied it to 2020, which is not applicable at all, but we're squared away. He got through on that the other day. And then also in August, we got another letter for the other missing 2 years. And we wrote an abatement again for that. We'll see if we get approved like that second abatement because it's for the same issue. And we anticipate hearing back from that in January and February to know that final amount due. And then we will pay that off as quickly as possible. And then we are in good shape. So moving forward, I guess where that puts us is as an organization, we really need to think about what are our lobbying needs? Is that something we can take? Is that something we can do on a grassroots level on our own? Do we want to, I don't know, create like a different type of channel with the Ag Ed Commission to specifically share policy concerns? Do we want to work with Farm Bureau on a lobbyist, that type of a thing? So I think that's something that Dave Steinfeld, when he jumps on here as president-elect, is kind of on his to-do list. So please offer that feedback and kind of how it's felt like since we haven't had a lobbyist for about 18 months, and if that's okay, or if you feel that we should have that moving forward. Any questions I can clarify about that information? Very good. I'll turn it back over to Krista, and you can always contact me via email or cell phone. Thanks.
All right, thank you. So next on our agenda is Mr. Campbell. I see the Honorable Mr. Campbell. And
Yes.
Do you see Mr. Clark? Does he, guess what, Mr. Campbell?
No, I already
Are
sent
you
him a
ready for
message.
this? He has
Maybe.
only worn a tie one time this year for picture day. That's it.
So why, my question is why picture day? But that's beside the point. Okay,
I just thought
Um,
you'd be so proud.
I am. I'm tearing up, and I know you can't see it on a Zoom meeting, but I am. First thing, I included everything that I'm going to cover with all the documents for the meeting. Big thing that Darla talked about was the taxes. We have finally gotten 16 and 18 worked out. I thought we had it all taken care of when I made payment about 5 or 6 weeks ago. And then Darla was gracious to send me an email that the IRS didn't have the payment and had charged us more money. So I sat on hold for an hour earlier this week and got that all straightened out. I don't know how they didn't apply it to the right years, but they didn't. But that is finally taken care of. 16 and 18, we are 100% caught up on. We're waiting on 15 and 17. And according to Tracy Grinnan at Boyer and Ritter, that could be February, March before we get any final information on that, which is about 6 months from when we got the letter from the IRS. And that's about how long it took us to finally get everything straightened out for 16 and 18. Good news. Another item of good news is 2019 taxes are filed in, signed off on, and we owe nothing to this point, unless the IRS loses the payment that we didn't make for that one, and we have to, I don't know, something will happen, but hopefully not. Second item, a final decision has been reached on the fraud case that I brought up to you in November of last year. Received an email from Darla, which I thought was legitimate information between emails back and forth. I did determine that I felt it was a legitimate, so I mailed a check out only to find out that it was not from Darla. Went immediately to the bank, put a stop payment on the cashier's check, went to the post office and thought I had delivery stopped. Turns out that delivery was made because we had just missed it by like 10 or 15 minutes. And then here back in, I'm going to say probably August or so, we finally got a decision. We were supposed to have a decision by like February or March of last year. COVID hit, threw everything to crazy. But what they said is they had to pay the check because by law, you're not allowed to stop a cashier's check. So we had to make payment. We are on the hook for that, $3,850. And, you know, so we finally got that final answer here about August. And in the meantime, Darla thought we had coverage. She found a clause in our insurance policy that covered stuff like this. When I got a phone call from the insurance company after I had called and filed all the paperwork and everything that was necessary, basically the only thing we could recover does not cover the actual fraudulent check, but it covers expenses in recovery, which was like $2. So basically it was one of those things that it happens. As I said last fall, I'm going to take full responsibility with that and do what I can to make sure it never happens again. And that's the one part, the one sheet that I sent to you as far as a payment voucher. That is the one way that we are going to keep all this fraudulent stuff under control. If you need reimbursement for any expense that you have for committee, for summer conference or whatever it is going to be a requirement that you fill out that voucher, send it to me along with a receipt indicating payment and justification for payment. If you need me to send you a check for a conference that you need upfront money, I'm going to need some type of purchase order or some type of request written up. And then I'll require receipts and everything after that to keep everything on the up and up. So that's where we stand with that. I've also included an invoice that if you owe the organization money, I'll be using that. Scholarship. Since our last fall, we started to get charged, I believe it was $10 a month because our scholarship checking wasn't active. They were going through, and because you have to write anywhere between a minimum of 6 checks a month. Well, we'll never write 6 checks a month on that. So we were being charged $10 a month. So what I did is instead of continuing to have that $10 a month in the account, I closed our scholarship checking and deposited that money into our scholarship savings. And then when we hand our scholarships out in the spring, I'll just transfer money from the savings into the general checking and write the checks out of general checking. That's going to save us $120 a year because it was either that or we carry a minimum of $3,000 in that non-interest bearing account. And it doesn't make sense to keep money in that account if we're not going to get anything for it. And then the only other thing is our balances as of right now. General fund checking is around 68,000. Our scholarship checking, it says there is 2,000. It's now down to 1,500. the final scholarship check was cashed. And then our PAAE scholarship savings is now at, our checking account was moved over our savings. So we're at about 31.6 in that. And then our general savings is about 42,000, giving us a total available money of about $143,000. So financially, we're in great shape. Dues are coming in. Nick and Darla are keeping me up with that. As they come in, they get deposited. And I just ask if you need a check or whatever, use the voucher. That's going to keep us in a situation where hopefully we don't have any more fraud and we're able to maintain everything from there. So anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, I see Robin is on here, so I am taking the baton and passing it to her.
All right, are we to Nick for executive secretary? Okay, Mr. Nick, your turn.
Yes.
Awesome. Hi, everybody. First thing, I just put a link in the chat. If you would please sign the attendance sheet. You should have access to it. If you could just put your name on there so we can have track of who was in the meeting. And I will include the attendance in the minutes once they get posted. The reports that I have are kind of old at this point that are on the regional meeting packets. Membership is up to date as of today. So the most accurate membership count is on the website. If you haven't been on the website, I'll fix it in a minute, Teresa. The most accurate membership listing is on the website. I believe at this point, the website is up to date as much as I know. It's been a little bit of a challenge learning how to work the website, but I'm getting better at it and quicker at it. Also, all the meeting minutes from the last board meeting and the Northern and Western regional meetings are posted there as well. And just found out yesterday, Casey will probably talk about this maybe later, but we are establishing a Google Suite for PAAE. And so coming soon will be email addresses. So they're at paaeteachers.org. So I will have an email address. I believe Brian's going to have an email address. And I don't remember if we decide if we're going to do all the regional VPs and all that, but it will be specific to our organization. Will be better management of keeping documents so they're not on thumb drives. And the current PAAE has a Gmail account, and that's kind of cumbersome to manage and so on. So we will be working through that avenue. It'll be a great way of archiving pictures when we need them and so on. So you'll see those changes coming through pretty soon. And yeah, I think that's it. So if you guys have any questions for me, I'll be happy to answer any. All right, Robin, back to you.
Okay, we're going to move down to our representative reports, and we're going to start with Penn State Ag and Extension, Dr. Ewing.
I don't think anybody's here.
Actually, you have me, you have Beth. And so just as kind of a quick check-in, starting off with our pre-service teachers, we currently have 8 teachers that are going to be going out student teaching this spring throughout the state. It's a good cohort size right now because we're readjusting everything for COVID. So it's actually working out quite nicely for us. And then we have our projected cohort sizes there that you guys can see as you move through the report there. Other highlights for our new and beginning teachers, we currently have 13 first-year teachers in the state of Pennsylvania. A couple of those teachers have prior teaching experience, so they've relocated here. But 13 is a great number. And then there's 40 teachers overall that qualify for the new and beginning program in their first through third years. And I would say we have about 20 to 25 teachers are very active throughout the year with the program. Another another item to highlight is our PD theme for the year, which is biotechnology. John Seaman has some of that outlined here. If anybody's interested if you haven't, I should say his cohort of biotechnology is already established, but there's going to be other opportunities that if you just kind of want to pick and choose items that you're welcome to jump in there with. And another thing to highlight is his Fall Connect to Industry series. There's a link there for the dates. And I think the next one coming up is November 5th, if I'm not mistaken. An opportunity for you guys as teachers, the Avengers have 2 programs going on right now that we ask for your help with. One is their Future Owl program. So if there are students in your classrooms that you think would be a great ag teacher or want to learn more about the being an ag teacher, in the newsletter, there is a flyer that you can print out with a QR code that all they have to do is scan and they can sign up for the program. And excuse me, those students will then be contacted by our Avengers and will be kind of kept in the loop for recruitment events and other items throughout the year. We're not doing anything in person this year, but they are planning a variety of different virtual events that are coming up. And then the second Avenger item on there is they would love to Zoom to your classroom. Avengers use their experiences throughout the school year with kind of gaining hours working with their diverse audiences and just getting practice of talking in front of students. And so this year they realized they're not going to be able to do that with a lot of the CDEs and different things being held online this year. So if you are interested in having the kids Zoom into your class, they can do workshops on a variety of different topics. Careers is a popular one. I think they're also doing like responsible use of social media, but pretty much they love a challenge. So if there's a topic that you're currently teaching and you think, hey, let's have them do it, they'd love to do it. So if you're interested, just shoot me an email and I'll put you in contact with someone. And also on here is our a link if you're interested in GLAG 21 that's coming up in February. And the proposed Case Institute dates are July 25th through August 6th. And I'm pretty sure it is going to be the biotechnology program. And I think that should pretty much cover it. Oh, by now, some of the info on here is a little old, but by now you know that we have a new directory system. If you haven't updated your information, we would love it if you did. So just click the link, get in there, update your information. You will be responsible for updating your info regularly. And then you will also create an account so then you can go in and see what other teachers teach the content you're teaching, what other teachers have the SIP codes you have, and so forth. So it's really helpful for you guys as well as us too. And I think that should be pretty much everything for us.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Bethany? All right, hearing none, we're going down to PAFFA with Mr. Brammer.
Thanks, Robin. I'm going to try to share a screen here. Hopefully everybody can see that. Should be nice and green for you today. So first of all, good afternoon, and so glad to see everybody here. I'm excited to share some information with you and then take some questions at the end if we need to do that. So we'll start, obviously, as most of you know, the state officers have selected a theme for this year. The theme is more. I think it's only fitting for the reasons that they came up with that particular theme with what we're all kind of experiencing this year. So they've kind of decided that with that particular theme, and you can kind of see the logo there in the corner of what they came up with, that it represents that we still can do more, no matter what the situations are and what we're experiencing. That we can always do more, and we always kind of want more. So they're having some fun with that particular theme throughout their activities so far this year. As most of you know, we conducted our first ever virtual chapter officer leadership training, or otherwise known as COLT. Just for information purposes, we had over 330 students that were registered. Actually, only about 240 attended. We knew that we had a couple of problems with collecting the emails to send the links to students. We were collecting emails that were actually their school emails, and some of those would not allow us to forward that information to them. So we kind of tried to go through the teachers. So we're not sure if all that actually got there. We're also not sure if maybe some of the students were actually signed up by their teachers, and then maybe they decided not to attend. But we learned some things and some things that we'll look at in the future to try to do a little bit differently. Officers are busy right now trying to get in some chapter visits. We actually are doing a couple in person. So if your school will allow them to come in and visit in person, reach out to me, shoot me a couple of dates, and we will try to make that happen. Otherwise, they are perfectly able and capable of conducting some virtual visits with you as well. So if you have another day you don't want to really teach, but you'd like to have somebody else come in and take care of things for you, reach out with me and give me some dates, and we will make that happen for you. They're staying pretty busy right now. Their schedules are pretty well booked through about the middle of November, but December looks pretty open, but we'll squeeze them in. So just let me know. Inside the Jacket video series, you guys got some information earlier this week about the new video series that we finally released. That's the logo that you see there on the screen. Hopefully you've had a chance to take a look at those. There are 7 videos that were released this week. They're all like 3 to 5 minutes in length. There's also a document that's kind of like a question and answer document that goes with each series. We're looking and starting to plan next week about trying to determine if we can do 7 more and how soon we can get those out for you. So that'll be series number 2. So stay tuned for those. They take a little bit longer to put together and edit and to kind of class them up and jazz them up a little bit, if you will, than we thought. But now that we got the first series down, we think that the second series will go a whole lot quicker. So again, let me know if we can, any topics that we need to cover. Make sure you shoot me some messages, let me know. And if you've used them, let me know that too. I see the chat box is blowing up now with people saying that they've used them, which is really cool. Obviously, the National FFA Convention is coming next week. If you just want to watch the sessions, there's no charge for that. If you want your students to experience the entire event with workshops and even workshops for teachers, most everybody by now I think knows that there was a tier cost to be involved in that. So like you could register 29 people for $50. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already done that, make sure you get that done right away, and then make sure that your students go in and register if you want them to go in and experience those workshops and things. A couple of things with National Convention. Whoops, I didn't want to go there yet, but that's okay. We have a couple of things going on with National Convention. I just want to bring to your attention. Number one, Jake Kinzer is our National Officer candidate this week or this year. He's actually being interviewed all week long this week. In fact, I talked to him about an hour ago, and he had another interview that started at 4:15. That one tonight, he's not done until about 7, and then the announcement will actually be made tonight at 9 o'clock. If he advances on to the second round of interviews that are scheduled. So say some prayers for us and for Jake, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that Jake makes it through to the second round or through the advancement round for National Officer. So far, he feels really good about what he's been doing, and even though it's different, it's all being done through Zoom. He feels really positive about it. Keystone Degrees and State Stars, there was some information that came out on that earlier. We won't dwell on that too long. There is another training session scheduled for tonight. I think it's 7 o'clock. If you're interested in that and you didn't sign up, either drop, I think Sharisa is on the call, drop her a message and she'll make sure you get that registration link for tonight. In a nutshell, we're doing 2 rounds of Keystone Degrees this year. One will be done in the fall. Another one will be done actually in the spring. So we'll actually present those Keystones 2 different times. We'll do one during the virtual midwinter, and then we'll do another one through summer convention. So Again, back to National Convention, we do have an American Star Farmer finalist this year at the national level. Our state president, McCara Anderson, is one of 4 national finalists for American Star Farmer. At the session at 7 p.m. on October the 28th, that is when they will actually pick the American Star Farmer. You can watch that live, and it will actually take place live. She actually has a Zoom link that she will have to get on during that particular convention session. And then they're going to put them on the screen and make it all live at that point in time when they make the announcement. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for her as well. Midwinter, ACES, SLC, Summer Convention, those 4 big things coming up in the future. Obviously, Midwinter Convention will be virtually. ACES, SLC, we're not sure yet. The board is going to meet in November to try to make some decisions with that. You know, gosh, if I was a gambling person, I would probably bet we're probably going to do them virtually. It boils down to 2 things. Number 1, can you travel and bring students? And if that answer is no, then obviously we're not going to conduct one. If we start getting yeses that you can travel and you can bring students to those conferences, then we got to deal with the number of people that can gather in one location. So we have to work with the hotels and see if that's possible. Is it possible to maybe do a bunch of mini ACEs all over the state if we can gather in person? That's a possibility. So right now we're just kind of exploring our possibilities. Like I said, the board will be meeting second week, I think, of November to make some decisions on what ACES SLC looks like. Summer Convention kind of raises the same questions at Penn State. Number 1, can we even stay on campus? Number 2, will you be allowed to travel? I can share with you that housing at Penn State's already said you might want to start looking at hotels. That doesn't make sense to me that we can come on campus and do all of our things, but we can't stay there. So that's kind of the rumors that I'm hearing at this point. So again, nothing in concrete, nothing has been decided. Just like the things that you're doing every single day, we take it one day at a time and we'll see what happens with it. Rosters, if you haven't started doing your rosters for this year, please try to get those started. The deadlines, of course, for Keystones are the same as they've always been, which is November 15th. And then, of course, the main rosters have to be submitted by May 1, but you don't have to wait that long. So you can enter students now. You can enter students again next month and the month after that and the month after that. My only request is that when you enter those students into the FFA roster, is that you make sure you click on submit to state. Otherwise, they sit in a local folder and they never get sent and they don't get recorded. And then next May, we'll be having some conversations that you haven't submitted your roster yet. So just make sure that you can submit them and then go back in later and look at your roster and make sure they all say approved. If they don't say approved, then they haven't been submitted yet. Affiliate fees, if your school has not submitted their check yet, we're collecting those, even though they're not due yet, but we do appreciate those who've actually sent the checks in. Over half the chapters have already sent their affiliate fee checks in. Don't worry about sending me emails and asking me if your school has sent it yet. If you want to check with your office, you can, but so that I don't get 150 emails about affiliate fee checks, just check with your business office or your administration. And again, contact me about those chapter visits, anything that we can do to help you. Make sure that just let me know and we'll be happy to try to do whatever we can for you. Last thing I'm going to leave you with is I heard a quote the other day that Abe Lincoln once said that the best way to predict your future is to create it. And I am fully convinced that the teachers of agriculture education in Pennsylvania are creating the future for all of us. And I'll give you a little example as to why and why I feel this way. A few weeks ago, I was on a call with all the executive directors of the different CTSO organizations. So the state directors of HOSA and FCCLA and Skills USA, TSA, there's like seven or eight different ones. Folks, there was so much doom and gloom coming from those folks about, our teachers are not doing anything with their CTSO groups. They're not planning anything. They're not even going to meet with their students when it comes to those kinds of things. And I couldn't help but share with them that you know, our agriculture teachers and FFA advisors are going out of their way to make sure that we continue to do the things that we've always done, even though it may look differently. But by gosh, we're going to do something with our students for FFA, and I couldn't be more proud to share that with them. At one point, I just wanted to turn the computer off and not even be part of that call. It was just so depressing. That's the only word I can think of, but it made me that much more prouder to be part of this Ag Ed family. So thank you very much for what you do. Thank you for what you continue to do. And with that, I'll take any questions, or I'll be still. Silence.
Any questions? Hearing none, we'll jump down to FFA alumni with Sharisa. She says Krista's in charge.
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. I'm not really good at my multitasking. That's what I was trying. I'm also not good at talking right now, apparently. All right. So the only thing that we have to report right now is jackets. Jackets are going to obviously, just like everything else this year, look a little bit different, but different doesn't mean less, according to Temple Grandin, since we are quoting people, Mr. Brammer, right? Okay. So the plan at this point, and I think that this is I got thumbs up. The plan at this point, and I think this is, first of all, a really awesome offer. The State Grange, and they actually came to me. I didn't go to them, but the State Grange came and said, why don't you let us help distribute the jackets? So we are going to somehow get them in by different areas and different granges, and then the grangers are going to meet us. They legitimately said they would drive from Erie to State College, which I think is awesome. So the grangers are going to meet us, and then they're going to take the jackets, and then I will say, hey, Darla, your jackets are going to be with me. You know that. But anyway, your jackets are at this Grange. And so I hope this works out. It's going to take a little bit of planning, and I'm not the most organized individual in the world, but I think that it's going to work. And I think it's an awesome offer from the State Grange to help us do that. In saying that, oh, Mr. Clark came over. I thought he was going to give me a slash for saying something wrong. Anyway, in saying that, we do still need, well, I do have a whole basket of envelopes that I didn't get through. So I really don't know where our sponsorship is at this point, to be 100% honest. Just not very high on my priority list right now, but we can always use lots of sponsorship. So if anyone is willing to hop on the alumni website and pull that sponsorship letter off and send it to local businesses. I know this isn't a year that we want to ask people for money. I get that. But there may be some individuals rather than businesses that aren't necessarily suffering in this year that wouldn't mind sponsoring a jacket or two just to help our kids make it happen. And we are going to work our tails off one way or another. Yes, Carol, I did get the retired ag teachers letter. Didn't open it yet, but I do remember seeing that one. Should we consider? Yes, PA Grange, that would be awesome because this is a major undertaking. Thank you. Good idea, Diana. Told you I can't multitask. I lost my train of thought. Oh, we are going to have some kind of presentation one way or another. So my hope is honestly that we can get the jackets to you as soon as possible. And I don't know if it's going to be you videotaping your kids putting the jackets on or some pictures or whatever, but we're going to try to make these kids feel special because they deserve to feel special either way. So if anyone has any cool ideas about what we can do, that would be awesome. Okay. We should hit up Purell. That's a great idea. Are they a Pennsylvania company? Okay, no, but that's a good idea. It costs $60 to sponsor a jacket this year, so the cost did not increase. Oh, that is one thing that's changing though. I apologize. We are not able to sponsor ties because in order to sponsor ties this year, we had to put it up to $75, and we just didn't feel that this was the right year to increase our sponsorship cost. So it is only a jacket. It is not a scarf or tie, which is important information. And that's all I have from alumni, Sharisa, unless you have anything else. No? Okay. Any questions? Excuse me. What questions are there? Thanks for the smiles, everybody. All right, I'm done.
All right, next up is Foundation with Sarah Sparks.
I don't think she's on here, so I'll just maybe jump in with a couple things. One, if you see anyone that's on the foundation or whatever, or you talk to Sarah, give them a thank you for the website, because they are basically funding that entire thing now. So that saved us a lot of money, and it's really not going to cost us anything, to my understanding. Moving forward, they're going to cover the entire cost. The other thing Nick brought up the Gmail account. So Sarah's been tremendous help, because I don't think any of us would have had time to kind of pursue this. So she did all the legwork, and we hit quite a few roadblocks in that process. So she's been jumping over those hurdles for us to get that established. And she also sent me an email today that said she's going to ask the foundation if they will cover the fees for that. So that's, again, kind of like another way the foundation is stepping up for us as an organization. So I think we're developing a really good relationship with the foundation. And so just like, if you see anybody that's a part of that, kind of reach out and say thank you. That's all I can really say for the foundation side of things, though.
Okay, then we have Ag Ed Commission with Dr. Scott Shealy.
And I don't know if he's on here either. So just kind of jumping in here, they do have another meeting in November here coming up. The one that was back in September, I think, was really nice to get all the different teachers to share how things are going and what kind of struggles and things that we're dealing with. One of the big maybe takeaways from that teacher panel was how much we still have a need for connectivity from an internet standpoint. No matter where we are in the state, it seems that there are internet connection issues. So that's something that was kind of brought to their attention, and that is a need for not just ag education, but just education in general, so that we can actually function in a virtual environment, which we are right now. And I think the commission honestly has been doing a lot in our favor. We didn't get to Carol yet, so I maybe will jump in there with that. She has some exciting news as far as the SAE specialist position. They're looking into establishing an OAC, or advisory board specialist position as well. So I think they're really doing a lot to benefit us as a profession. So I think, and Scott's doing a great job. He's really trying to get feedback from us as teachers. So like the State of Ag Ed webinar, if anyone was on for that, he's really just trying to see what are our needs and what do we kind of need the commission to be working on. So yeah, reach out to Scott if you have any like ideas or suggestions or things that you feel are things that the commission should be working on, because he's definitely putting in the legwork to try to get us benefits and lobby on our behalf, and essentially. So that's all I'll say for that.
All right, next is Miss Carol with the SAE specialist report.
Hi, everybody. I've been pretty busy the last couple weeks, helping everybody with SAE projects and experience managers and working toward Keystone degrees and all that. One thing I want to report to you is that in the past, PAAE reimbursed the expenses for the SAE specialist position up to $5,000. And then a stipend came through the Center for Professional Development at Penn State. The Ag Ed Commission over the last 6 months or so has approved that they are now going to cover the SAE specialist position, the SAE specialist position, stipend and expenses. So while that was going on, I had sent Brian a bill or an invoice, whatever, for expenses. That's kind of how we had been doing it. And then he would reimburse me for that. So in the meantime, the commission approved to cover those expenses. So just so you guys know, I have reimbursed Brian and PAAE for those expenses. So now the commission and the center are covering the whole SAE specialist position. So I think that's pretty exciting. And they're promoting or going to be hiring. I'm not sure exactly where the process is with the OAC specialist, but that is coming along, and they're talking about something about curriculum as well. So you're going to see some cool things, I think, coming forward on the from the commission. One other thing is I've been in meetings with the commission and PDE and LibreCat and those folks, and a couple teachers had reached out that they were struggling with COVID and so forth, getting their Chapter 339 review notebooks and information done. So Lee's comment was that if you're having trouble getting that done, then reach out to your lead person. And it could be Jean Kelleher. I can't remember all the names they said of people who are in those positions now at PDE. But if you're having trouble getting that those notebooks done, and now it's all online, I think. But if you're having trouble getting it done, reach out to that person, and they should help you, give you some extra time to get that done. If they don't do that, let me know, and I'll bring that up. Or if they give you a hard time, let me know, and I can bring that up at or John Ewing or Mike Brammer, because we all go to those meetings with Lee. Let us know, and we will bring that to her attention that that's going on, because it's a lot to do and you have a lot going on right now anyway. So if we can help with that at all, let me know. I helped out in the spring with American degree candidates, and I'm excitedly waiting to see them receive those at the convention. I also was able to judge national proficiency applications and review the videos that the national proficiency finalists submitted. Those are always a lot of fun to do. I guess I'm kind of a proficiency nerd, I'm not sure, but it's kind of neat to see kids in their projects that they do in that kind of situation. I've been Zooming with a lot of kids and teachers, helping with SAE projects. So if you need any help, if you have some Keystone applications or any kind of applications that you're not sure, you just need another set of eyes to review, send me their names and I'll gladly look over them for you. There's a lot that's been going on. I'm going to switch gears to the farm show, because that's next in my report, in this PAAE report. The FFA departments for the farm show are now uploaded, so all the rules are there. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me or the chairman of the department, or I can share with them whatever. So some of the entry deadlines are coming up pretty quick. Some of the deadlines are as early as November 1st. So you may want to take a look if you're going to do window display or any of those departments. Department 35 antique tractors will not be involved in the farm show this year. They're having discussion whether they'll be at Ag Progress Days and the 2022 farm show, and exactly how the funding's going to come through for the prizes and awards and premiums that they do. And speaking of premiums, there will not be premiums at the farm show this year. They're looking at getting ribbons sponsored, so they're going to try to have ribbons for farm show winners. So if you have any questions about any of that, or if I can help you, shoot me an email. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any questions for Carol? Hearing none, we're going to start with our committee reports. Member services, Krista.
Okay, thank you. You can take a look at the document, where it is. I'm sorry, I can't keep doing all this back and forth. I'm just going to talk. So the big thing that we have is a couple of programs going on. One is the Yugo points, and you all signed Nick's document. Is that correct? I understand it was pretty amusing. Mr. Clark said everybody's deleting each other and everybody's names were flying back and forth. So you might want to check and make sure your name didn't get deleted. I'm just teasing. Nobody would do that. But after you hear what I have to say, you might. You never know. So Yugo Points is a program. Amy took her thumbs up down after I said that. I was just joking. I'm sorry. Yugo Points is a program to encourage participation. So everything that you attend, so these meetings and what else we have this year, everything you attend, basically your name gets put into a hat, a virtual hat, because everything's virtual these days, and randomly gets pulled out. And then there are fun prizes for participation. And so we did this last year as well, and we gave the prizes at the state FFA, not state FFA, the PAAE convention, and we'll do the same thing again this year. So it'll depend on what we have, of course. Amy said it came down automatically. Okay. It'll depend what we have, of course, but as much as you can attend, and your name will get put into a hat, and maybe you can win a fun prize, which is from Amazon. And the second thing that we're working on right now, and we've done it for several years, is Run Across Pennsylvania. And it's no different than it has been before. You can be in a group of up to 5 and get some exercise and see if you can, again, win some fun prizes. So those are the two things that are on member services list. We do have a couple of other things that are dangling out there, but we're all kind of swamped right now. And so they haven't happened yet. And I know that you all understand that. And when they do happen, we will roll them out to you. Okay.
All right, thank you. Marketing committee, that's public relations and commercial relations. So Polly and Sarah Beth Aldifer had worked together to send out letters to the award winners at the end of summer convention last year. Then we started working on a flyer to kind of advertise what PAAE does for our membership. And it's more of a flyer to hand to our administrators or LAC and OAC so they can understand why we want to belong to this organization, and maybe try and get some more school boards to pay our dues to try and help get that benefit going. It kind of was in progress, and then school happened, and we're on like our first day of school, it feels like. So it hasn't been finished yet. Working on that. And then the other thing is the apparel or whatever else we're gonna have for sale this year. Since we can't deliver at Farm Show, I wasn't trying to rush and get it all done with everything else going on this year. So hopefully hereafter things kind of settle down, November starts, I can get and meet with my person who does the apparel, come up with some different items this year maybe. If anyone has suggestions on what they would like, if you want something different, if you want something like we did the stickers, we've done the pins. If there's some other kitschy thing you want for on your desk or what have you, let me know. Etsy is a great place. I can find all sorts of crazy stuff we can do with different people on Etsy. Let me know. Other than that, that's all I have for marketing. So just send me an email if you have ideas for marketing items. Strategic planning. Who was our representative for that this evening?
It would be either Dave or Nate. In the report, it has the like some of the survey highlights. So if you want to glance through that and kind of check out if anyone in the region here participated in that survey, we appreciate you taking the time to do that. And I'm trying to find it in my email here. 1 second. There was supposed to be a winner, and they are getting an Amazon gift card from each region. So for South Central, that winner is Cheyenne Weevil. So congratulations to Cheyenne. Allison Balmer should be sending those out if you haven't gotten them already, because that was probably a couple weeks ago when we did that. If anyone has any questions regarding the survey, reach out to myself or Dave, and we'd be happy to discuss any of that stuff with you. So.
All right, public policy, Laura Metric or whoever's on the committee. All right, there's not a report in the packet either, so we can't read that. Policies and bylaws, Carly Wright, Neil Fellenbaum, or someone from that committee.
And I can jump in here just with a quick thing. I kind of already said this, that Darla and I had met with Carly and we came up with the timeline, and it's kind of listed there in the report. So again, we're hoping by summer conference to have like a final revised policy and bylaws that we can vote on during those business sessions. So.
Finance committee, Adam Searfoss, or anyone from that committee.
I might just have to keep going here. You guys have the report, so again, he highlights a couple things. We did discuss doing our own Zoom, but Penn State is more than happy to keep serving as hosts, at least according to Dr. Ewing. And the other thing is with National Convention, we are going to be registering those who did the sign up through the Google form. We kind of had a tiered approach to that. Because we had some budgeted items to attend, and this year with being virtual, it was a much cheaper cost. We figure why not try to send as many people virtually as possible as a little bit of a member benefit. So we started with board members, then committee chair members, then we sent it out to the new and beginning teachers, and then we kind of had an open time period here the last 3 days. So between this evening or tomorrow, Janae, myself, and Brian are going to kind of take care of that registration. We're going to register those folks as a group, and then we should all have virtual access to the NAAE conference coming up here in a month or so. So that's all I have.
Professional growth. Oh, we have.
Case, Robin, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Where was that stuff posted at?
The NAAE.
Yeah.
Janae sent out, because we did tiered approach, we did board members, so she sent it to all the board members. Then we did committee chairs, so she just directly emailed to any of the committee chairs. The new and beginning teachers, we actually used Beth's. Beth helped us out by sending that out to the new and beginning teacher list that they do for any of the new and beginning teacher workshops or promotions. And then she should have sent out to what we have as far as the membership list email wise. So if you weren't, and that was out on Monday of this week as kind of a final call. So if you didn't get it.
I received no email. I haven't received any communication from PAAE since the beginning of the school year.
Then that's probably an error on maybe our part on our email list that we have. And I can apologize, but other than that, the hope is that I guess with the Gmail account that we said that we are getting established here, that we won't have this kind of issue, because we just kind of had like a Word document with everyone's emails from membership from last year that we've been working off of. We would send out, like, I made a group of PAAE teachers based on that mass of emails that we've collected from membership. And it was the same one that Darla was using last year. So if you were getting stuff from last year, then I don't see why you wouldn't be getting it now.
Yes.
So I used the same list. And that's what I gave to Janae as well to use for the membership mailing. So if you didn't get it, I really don't know why you wouldn't, because again, it was the same from last year's membership.
No, because I was looking for it because somebody had mentioned it and our district doesn't have extra funds this year. So I've been waiting for it, and then I thought it would come out tonight. And I know early bird ends tomorrow.
What you could do is maybe reach out to Janae real quick tonight and see if we still have additional spots. We were going to do 25 because of how much we had budgeted between, and it says in here, I have to look, we had so much budgeted for delegates and so much for, I think, award winners. So it came out to about $6,000. So we figure with 25 at the early bird registration rate, that is just under the 6,000. So that's what we went with, and as a board kind of came up with that tiered approach. So if there's still slots, I know as far as I think on Monday we had 19, so we had room for like 6 in the open category to sign up. So if you reach out to her real quick tonight, maybe you can, and Darla just put her email in the chat there for you. See if there's still room, I would say email her tonight and try to quick fill out the form before we do the group registration process tomorrow. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, so professional, right? So we're on professional growth. I'm getting mixed up here.
I think it's professional growth. Don't think Janae's on, so I'll take over this one. So I'm the new committee chair for this. So we are encouraging participation at the NAA conference. If that is something that you get signed up before the early bird, it's still available. So everything's virtual this year. We're going to create a feedback and takeaway section, like a shared Google Drive folder, so that everybody has access to some of the resources. There is the 2021 PAAE form is out now for nominations for awards. So one of the things we talked about was getting that award nomination form out earlier so that you have all year to nominate people up until the deadline. So that form is out and it's on your agenda. You have access to that all year. And the last thing is continuing partnership with Penn State and working with the summer conference committee.
The link for that form is also on the website in several different places.
All right, we'll move down to standing special committees, starting with summer conference.
I think I'll maybe just add, we're kind of excited to hopefully do in person in the northern region. Fingers crossed.
Scholarship. I don't know if Doug or anyone wants to fill in on that.
I'll just add that Brian talked about the differences that we're making with those accounts with the scholarship as far as checking and saving during his report. And so we probably won't, until we do next year's scholarships, have much to report on that, but all of the winners were taken care of here this fall for this past year.
And Sunshine Committee, again, that form is active on the website. So if you ever need to want to take and fill out the form, send a card to someone who might just need a little extra sunshine if there's something going on in their family. Old business website updates.
Yeah, and we kind of already touched on this through a couple different reports here, but I just wanted to put it on here as something that obviously happened here in the last month or so. And just comment that if anyone is on there and you notice anything that needs to be fixed, updated, changed, whatever, let myself or Darla, or especially Nick, since he's kind of our webmaster for that now, let us know and we'll try to make sure that we get that up there. Our hope is that with the new format, it's more user-friendly. You can find stuff easier. So definitely, if you haven't had a chance to look at it yet, please do so, and share with us your feedback too on anything you'd like to see happen there.
Moving on to new business, the NAAE virtual convention registration. Again, making sure you're getting registered. Again, the early bird date is tomorrow. Casey or Darla, do you guys have anything to add?
Not really. I just, kind of referenced with Sarah Beth's question there. So we'll be doing that as far as what we did with the Google form tomorrow. But again, any other members are welcome to kind of register on their own as well. It'd be nice to have a nice showing from Pennsylvania, even in a virtual manner. And then I can try to keep going here, Robin, for the G Suite account. And again, we kind of already touched on this with some of the other reports. But we're hoping, again, that if we have this email account set up, it'll make correspondence a little bit easier. We can enter in everybody's email as a contact when we get your membership. And then as far, we haven't really decided yet if we're going to do all the regional VPs, but we thought we could make groups for each region so that, again, when we needed to send stuff out on a regional basis, whether it's for regional meetings in the spring or whatnot, we have a way to kind of reach all of those teachers that are in each region based on our PAAE membership roster. And the other thing we are hoping with this is that it'll make transferring files and documents and stuff easier because we can put everything on that Google Drive account and have it there. So like for summer conference, for example, we can just have folders in there for each year of summer conference, and then the next year's committee chairs and whatnot have access to all that stuff to kind of see what was done in the past and have access to all that stuff. And then even from like a president's perspective, as we pass the gavel on down, they have access to all the reports and things that we've done for the different organizations. And the other thing with the email, Darla experienced this when she was president last year. I'm doing it, getting it now. When I send out like those mass emails to all the membership, then people like Brian and Nick have been getting emails from a Casey Rice or like a Darla Romberger that isn't a Casey Rice or a Darla Romberger. I forget, Nick, I was the chief executive officer of something or other that I'm not the chief executive officer of. So we're hoping that that will help with some of our like online security too, that we don't have an issue like what we ran into with the kind of fraud issue that we ran into last year as well. So, and then I also brought up with that Sarah Sparks has been tremendous help in getting that all set up. We thought we were going to be able to do it as a nonprofit for free, but we are not a 501c3. We are a C6, so we do not qualify for the nonprofit. We're a little bit different because of our lobbying privileges, I guess you could say. So, but even then, it's $12 a month for the account, and then it's an additional $12 a year to have the @PAAEteachers.org domain name. So pretty minuscule amount of cost for some of those hopeful benefits of having the storage of all the documents, easier communication, and then hopefully a more secure email method to communicate with those members. So, and Sarah Sparks also said to me in that email that she's going to ask her board if they'll pay for it. So that would be awesome if they'll even pick up that cost for us. They've been really doing a lot for us, I feel, lately. So that would be pretty awesome. Any questions about the Gmail account? We did just kind of get that set up literally like this week. So hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll get that all squared away and maybe do some test correspondence to make sure everything's working properly as well. That's all I have for that.
Okay, anything other new business that needs to come before the group? All right, hearing none, looking at announcements, we'll need to select a spring meeting date and hopefully a location.
And I can tell you what the other regions picked if you give me a second.
Northern is the 22nd of April. Western is the 20th of April.
Thank you, Brian.
Do we want to keep it in April?
Like the week of the April 12th, maybe, since we have hopefully regional public speaking on Wednesday, the 21st.
April
Tuesday would be the
we can pay our
13th.
taxes and meet as a group. Does that sound good?
That's
April
fine.
15th.
Thursday, the 15th.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be able to do that in person. But obviously we'll see how the year goes. No guarantees on that. The other thing is a lot of members have expressed interest, even if we would be able to do in person, being able to offer like both options, in person and virtual. So I told some of the other regions that like typically do like a HOSS, maybe we need to consider where we have them. I think South Central, you guys are usually at a school, so that would work well. But making sure we can have maybe both options if we are able to do in person.
Is it okay with everyone if the two vice presidents just hold on to that information until we figure out if it's even worth talking about? And then Robin and I'll figure out a place and share it with you, okay? Maybe it'll be at Brian's house.
Only if there's lobster.
Oh,
And
there'll be
steak.
beer.
Okay, that works.
All right, I have nothing else on the agenda for tonight. Anyone have any last minute burning questions or thoughts?
You guys are doing an awesome job. You're getting a lot of stuff done for our organization in a hectic time. So great job to our board and all of our officers.
And just click it on the computer and that's what it goes to.
Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate that.
Does anybody have anything they want to see NAAE do through the Member Services Committee? I didn't get any responses in the chat. Okay, that's fine. If so, feel free to contact me. I am our representative on that committee.
Amy, I can share that with the Eastern region when we have that meeting coming up in November and see if anyone has anything.
Sure, thank you.
Yep.
All right, hearing nothing else, I guess we can call this meeting adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming. Hopefully we get to see everyone at an FFA or PAAE event real soon.